Hey everybody, welcome back to my Project 13, the Samsung Galaxy S8. I want to have a final conversation on this device and how I feel about it since bringing it in almost a month ago. Okay, I don't know if I want to call this a final review, but I want to talk about my experience with this device, my own personal experience, and the fun that I'm having with it, and super stoked in bringing it in from Swappa, again, for almost a month now. I was a little hesitant to buy anything through Swappa. I've never done that before, so I reached out to a few YouTubers, asked some questions. They gave me some answers. I then felt comfortable about going through with purchasing this device for a phenomenal price, brand new in the box still. And thank you. Big shout out to you fellow YouTubers who I consider friends, that were able to give me the answers I needed. And then in the end, on my own, I felt comfortable about going through with the purchase. So here she is, and she's been doing great. I want to shoot out this information really quick. As a phone, it works great. Wi-Fi here in my home, 4G LTE with T-Mobile. So as a phone, it's doing great. Battery life, 5 to 6 hours with heavy usage depending on what I'm doing. If I'm making videos, editing, uploading, it could be a little closer to 5. If I'm just using it heavy in a lot of other areas outside of gaming or VR, I'm getting closer to 6. If I'm moderate, I can get more than that. So that's pretty much how it's been for me, steady. As far as performance with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835, this device is super fast. Now, it's not as smooth as some of other devices, but I don't want to bring a lot of other devices into this conversation. Why? Because I feel that I need to talk about the S8 as a solo individual device, as a standalone device. I don't want to take away from my experience with it as a solo device. Okay. Now, whether it's TouchWiz or it's not as optimized in certain specific areas in the device, there can be a little bit of lag here and there, but for the most part, it's very, very minimal. So a little bit of that smoothness isn't quite there as I would like. I mean, for the most part, high percentage of the time it is, but there's just a little bit of those minimal times that it's not as smooth, but it's super fast. And again, it's so minimal that it's really not going to be something that you really need to worry about. Okay. And again, that's for my own personal experience in using this device as much as I have since bringing it in. It's not a deal breaker whatsoever. Just wanted to throw that out there. But performance it's been great. And I'm stoked with the S8 and what I've gotten, whether I'm web browsing, whether I'm doing social media, whether I'm watching videos on YouTube. Yeah. Phone call quality, messaging, performance has been great with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835. The cameras on the front shoot great selfies. I don't typically take selfies of myself. I usually do that with me and my children, my wife. I like to include others in my selfies. I don't like to just take them of myself, but yeah, awesome. Digging that 8 megapixel front shooter. You got the 12 megapixel shooter on the back right next to that fingerprint sensor and your dual flash. And pictures are awesome. Video's been great. That was the biggest negative that I had going on with the S8 Plus and why it went back. Waited for my money to finally get back to me over a month. I finally got that money. It's in my bucket waiting for another device. But yeah, I mean, in the back of my mind, I had to try it again, but went for the S8 instead of the S8 Plus. Just a little smaller variant, smaller battery, 3000 compared to 3500 milliamp. Got 5.8 inch display, Infinity display compared to 6.2. You got that 18 by 9 display ratio, which is really, really beautiful. It's a sexy looking device. So, performance with all of that overall is wonderful. You're not going to be unhappy with this device. Again, we're only talking about this device and not other devices. Okay. Cause I know down below, you're going to want to say, well, this device, and I get you. I got you on that. Okay. I'm just talking about this device here. This sexy looking device, the S8. So overall, whether it's call quality, messaging, battery life, performance, I got to give this device an A as a standalone solo device. Not going to give it an A plus. I'm going to give it an A. It has done really well for me and I've had a lot of fun. Now, it could have been a plus, but where the plus why the plus isn't there is because in the cameras, when shooting video, it is doing so much better than what my first experience was. But there's still those limitations, you know, those restrictions in 1080p 60 frames per second, where you only got, if I remember correctly, I think it's like 10 minutes to shoot video. And if you're in dual camera mode, you got like 5 minutes. Actually, in dual camera mode with the S8 Plus, there were times that the device would just freeze and then shut off and had to restart it. There was a lot of focus hunting. There was going out of focus for a period of time, coming back. But since picking up this device for a great price, my experience with the T-Mobile software updates and the Samsung software updates have been so much better that I've been willing to be patient in working with those limitations, those restrictions. And because of that, the updates have done this device so well. It's just that much more positive that I'm enjoying my time with the S8. And as far as when it comes to shooting video, the pics are really nice, whether they're day pics, night pics, dark pics, low light pics, whatever you want to call them. There's so many different type of pics that you can get, whether it's raining out, whether it's cloudy, whether it's early morning, whether it's dusk. I mean, overall, the camera shooter on here works great. Video looks awesome. Again, that focus hunting has been really minimalized, and it's just hardly there. In fact, since shooting a lot of video with this device, since bringing it in, I think it was only once or twice that I actually got some feedback on the tiny bit of focus hunting using the front-facing cam, shooting video, and then I just was able to utilize the autofocus, just basically focused it on me, and it actually pretty much stayed that way, and I haven't noticed much of anything compared to my first go at it with the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. So basically utilizing what I have in the camera area when shooting video, working with it, being patient, and just enjoying this device for what it is. I don't want to go on too much longer about that. It's just, I'm really stoked, really happy about that, or else I wouldn't have the device today and sitting here talking about and having a conversation. So the speaker, that little speaker right down there, it's loud, sounds great. I don't use headphones at work because I have to hear if anybody is calling out through where I work through the speaker system. I have to hear those announcements, especially if they're calling for me. So I can't have earphones on and shut that out. So I listen to just that speaker right there on this device. And when listening to music, I'll tell you, I can't play that. Let me get into something that's a little bit more, where I'm not going to get in trouble with YouTube. Boy, if I can just find something here, probably way down here, and there we go. Let's see, where are we going to go? So it's a very loud quality speaker that has a membrane inside of there protecting this device because it is IP68 water resistant, which is another awesome feature. And with that being in there protecting that speaker area, you would think that that would be, well, not as loud and the quality wouldn't be there, and it is. So stoked that Samsung did a great job in utilizing waterproofing or water resistance on this device, and yet not taken away from the quality of every bit of the device, especially that area when it comes to the speaker. And when you're listening to music, watching a movie, and listening to the audio through there, I'll tell you, it sounds really good, really clear, and it's just great quality sound for this specific device. So yeah, IP68 water resistant. Let's see, the fingerprint sensor is in an odd spot, but actually with the smaller variant, the 5.8 compared to 6.2, it's easier to reach with my fingers. So the larger one is not too far off. I'm just saying it's a little easier to get to that spot and turn it on. And yeah, I wish it was right there. I don't mind it not being on the front. I love the Infinity display. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's sexy. More display. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I don't mind other displays, but for this device, this looks awesome. I just wish this was here, but I've learned to utilize that area right next to that 12 megapixel shooter and the dual flash right there. So yeah, not bad. Love the fact that the headphone jack is still there. It's USB Type-C. It's fast charge. And you know what? Outside of that, I don't know what else to tell you that if you're interested in picking up this device and you haven't, but it's on your list to possibly pick up outside of other devices, this is a device to consider, especially if you're a Samsung faithful, okay? And most likely if you are, you already have it. But if you're not, but you've been wanting to maybe venture off into a different direction, just, continue to do what I've always said to do, and that's do your homework. I'm just going to tell you, if you're looking for one specific device, you will be happy with the S8. Again, I'm not talking about other devices. I don't want to taint this final conversation, this final review, even though you'll be seeing this device still here on my Project 13. I do not want to take away from this device as a solo individual device. If it's something you want, then go for it. Outside of the other choices you have, I'm going to tell you, second time go at this S8. Well, the first one was the S8 Plus, but you know what I'm saying. It's a great experience for me, and I'm really glad I did. And I said this earlier in the video, or I'll say would not be here. Standalone, I think I've said this, 4 or 5 times now, solo individual device, the S8 is a great device. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm working with it. I'm being patient in those areas that I wasn't to begin with, and bam. Wow. Yeah, totally excited. Anyway, everybody, if I missed anything, you can leave that down below and I'll get back to you. I'm always missing something, but that's the way it goes. So my next video, peace, God bless. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of my Project 13, because you are my Project 13.